When you talk about the bands that have performed at the Fillmore Detroit, formerly the State Theater, Led Zeppelin, okay, arguably the greatest band of the 1970s. Johnny Cash, one of the greatest singer-songwriters ever. Aretha Franklin, Queen of Soul. Anybody who is anybody in the music industry, in the entertainment industry, they have come through the Fillmore Detroit. And this just underscores what's going on with FightXC, that FightXC is sharing the same space that all of these icons have been in the past when they were on their way to the top and after they'd made it to the top. So this just goes to show you that FightXC has arrived. Fillmore Detroit is one of the most legitimately intimidating and terrifying guys I've ever personally encountered. The first time I sat down in the studio to interview Fillmore Detroit was memorable because I asked my first question. He sat there staring at me for a while, and it just made me question my own personal safety at that point in time. I was feeling pretty silly for having put myself in danger just for the sake of asking him what I thought was a pretty regular question. But that's just how he is. That's the kind of vibe he brings. He's a legitimately intimidating guy, and it's just a reflection of how serious he is and how seriously he takes the fight game. Adam Trombley, there's something upstairs in Adam Trombley's head that isn't wired correctly, and I'm not saying that as a bad thing. The guy comes into a fight situation and he comes in with a smile on his face. I don't know how many people walk into a potential life or death situation where they're likely to be injured or maimed with a smile on their face. He walks up, he faces off with his opponent, he's smiling. He walks back into the corner to get instructions, he's smiling. He gets kicked in the chops, he's smiling. The guy just smiles the whole time, and I guess that's what it takes to be a great fighter. There's something that's just fundamentally wired differently in these guys' heads, and that's what makes them great. And Adam Trombley absolutely resembles that remark in every way. Each of these individuals is the best in his respective weight class in FightXC. And on top of that, you have Adam Trombley, who's undefeated in catchweight fights at 205 or higher. He's undefeated. Arguably, he is a better fighter in Paul's weight class than he is in his own. So the fact that they're undefeated, each is undefeated at 205, that adds so much to this fight, because after this fight, somebody isn't going to be undefeated anymore. And 2,000–3,000 people, they're going to get to witness this history-making event firsthand. As far as the atmosphere is concerned, I've heard people say there's going to be pin drop silence, there's going to be an awe of the fighters. I think it's going to be electric. If you've been to any FightXC show, if you've been to any of the FightXC shows, the atmosphere has been electric for the main event fight, and all the more so considering this is the biggest and best main event that FightXC has ever put out.